Hello, good morning. Myself, I am Dr. Rangarao and my colleague Dr. K. Srikanth. So, we both are working as associate professors in the Department of Biotechnology, Vignan's Foundation for Science, Technology and Research. So, we both deals with biochemistry for second year students. Today, we are going to, I am going to talk about Unit 1 and Topic 5. So, this is very important. The topic is glycolysis and then Krebs cycle. So, how these two help and help to our metabolism and system. So this will come under bioenergetic and metabolic carbohydrates. This both will come bioenergetics and metabolism of carbohydrate and aerobic and anaerobic respiration. And then what is aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Previous lecture I mentioned that what is anaerobic and aerobic respiration, and then what is glycolysis, then how it is help to the glycolysis process, and then Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle is nothing but citric acid cycle, and then citric acid cycle. So, and then this is a TCA cycle. Usually we mention that TCA cycle. So, Krebs cycle is nothing but TCA cycle, citric acid cycle. This course outcomes previously also I mentioned in my previous slide, to learn about bioenergetic and then metabolism of carbohydrates, to learn about aerobic and anaerobic respiration, and then discuss about the different pathways. This topic unit 1 we will going to discuss various pathways. So, what is respiration? As we know that it is very important, it is happen in the living cells, living organisms. It is a process, it is happen in living organisms. The production of energy, typically they require oxygen, the intake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide from the oxidation of complex organic substances. That is respiration process, it is required oxygen, it is a process in living organisms involving the production of energy, the intake of oxygen and the release of carbon dioxide from the oxidation of organic substances, oxidation of some of the organic substances. Coming to cellular respiration, it is a process, this is also set of a process, and then metabolic reactions, it's happen some of the metabolic reactions and process that takes place in the cells of organisms to convert biochemical energy from nutrients into ATP. ATP is a adenosine triphosphate, and then release waste products. That is cellular respiration. It is a process, it involves metabolic reactions, and then this cells of organisms to convert biochemical energy from nutrients. The energy is ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and then release waste products. Then what is the difference between aerobic and then anaerobic process? Aerobic and anaerobic process, anaerobic respiration are carried out at the cellular level. At the cellular level, we are going to work on this one, aerobic and then anaerobic process. Usually, this is carried out at the cellular level. Coming to cellular respiration is refers to a range of metabolic activities then occurred in varied cells and which helps nutrients and into energy molecules known as ATP, adenosine triphosphate. The previous whatever I mentioned, that one, cellular respiration process is to metabolic activities. Those are metabolic activities that occur in cells and which help to the process nutrients into convert to energy molecule, that is ATP or adenosine triphosphate. And then in order to produce ATP energy molecule, aerobic respiration needs oxygen. It is required more oxygen. While case of anaerobic respiration, in the process of anaerobic respiration, it is absent of oxygen. Absence of oxygen. So when you talk about aerobic respiration, they need oxygen. They require oxygen. While in the case of anaerobic respiration, electron transport chain is used to process the energy molecules along with inorganic molecules. So in order to produce energy, there is an inorganic molecule different from oxygen. It's also known as a fermentation. That kind of we call actually fermentation process. So the process of anaerobic respiration occurs without requirement of oxygen. As I mentioned that it is not required oxygen. It is a without oxygen. Without oxygen. It is classified into two kinds of, one is fermentation process, is synthesize fermentation, and then alcoholic fermentation, and then lactic acid fermentation process. So this anaerobic respiration process, they divide into two types. One is alcoholic fermentation and the other one is lactic acid fermentation process. This is the difference, aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So anaerobic respiration. So you can see here no oxygen. Here you can see no oxygen. Oxygen is absent. And this is glycolysis. Glycolysis happens in the cytoplasm. And the fermentation process. Fermentation process, there are two types, alcoholic fermentation and then lactic acid fermentation. This is happening in cytoplasm. So when you go for this process, anaerobic respiration process, you will get energy molecules, 2 ATP molecule. 2 ATP molecule. 1 glucose molecule you get to 2 ATP molecule. Whereas aerobic respiration process requires oxygen, they require oxygen. So when you see 1 glucose molecule happen, 36 ATP molecules. 36 ATP molecule. That means this, when you compare this process and this process, aerobic process you will get energy molecule is very high. High energy you will get. High energy molecules you get, that is 1 molecule of glucose, you will get 36 molecules of ATP you will get. Whereas aerobic respiration, 1 glucose molecule you get only 2 ATP molecule. So aerobic process require oxygen and then it goes to glycolysis process and then Krebs cycle and then electron transportation. This is happening in cytoplasm and Krebs cycle also happen in mitochondria and then electron transport is happening in the mitochondria. So this is the difference. So when you compare these two, you can easily observe that anaerobic process is very, very important so that you will get more energy. This is one of the example. If you say one sucrose, you can see here this is example, best example. Glucose, 1 molecule of glucose react with oxygen in the presence of the light and then you can get here 6 molecule of carbon dioxide and 6 molecule of H2O and finally you will get energy. This is a energy. So this is the energy. This means 1 molecule of sugar units, so this is the one, and react with the oxygen and then it produces 6 molecule of carbon dioxide and the 6 molecule of water. So you will get 1 ATP molecule. You will get ATP, that is energy. Produce simple example. And then pyruvate can be further processed. If you see actually why we are going to use glycolysis pathway, glucose converted into pyruvate. So here you can see pyruvate can be further processed aerobically. Pyruvate can be further processed aerobically to CO2 and H2O via the citric acid cycle and aerobically to lactate in muscles and in certain microorganisms and aerobically to ethanol. You can also produce ethanol by fermentation process. That is pyruvate can be further processed. Whatever the glucose converted into pyruvate, that pyruvate can be converted into in different process. Alcoholic fermentation and then anaerobic glycolysis. Anaerobic glycolysis, when you talk about that, lactate, okay, are not efficient energy producers. They are not much efficient energy producers. So this pathway you will get the little amount of ATP. You will get the little amount of ATP molecules. Coming to aerobic process. So in this process, the aerobic process through pyruvate, through the you will get citric acid cycle and respiration gives a more complete oxidation of much higher ATP molecule. You will get much ATP molecule in aerobic process. So in this lactate fermentation, how the lactate fermentation happen? So lactate fermentation, enzyme lactate dehydrogenase. In this process, this is the enzyme involved here. This is the enzyme involved here. So in this lactate fermentation process, here lactate dehydrogenase. Enzyme is when the reaction happen, enzyme is very important. So in this process, pyruvate, this is the pyruvate molecule, and the react with NADH and then H plus in the presence of lactate dehydrogenase. In the presence of lactate dehydrogenase, it produces lactate. It produces lactate. And here uses up all NDP. Here whatever whatever the NADH, here this NADH uses in this process. In the glycolysis process, they use more NADH. And if you see, helps glycolysis by using up NADH and reversible. So pyruvate can be regenerated in alternative metabolism. Lactate fermentation is important in red blood cells. Whatever the lactate fermentation important in red blood cells, parts of the retina and in and then skeleton muscles during the exercise. And important in plants, in microbes growing in the presence of oxygen. This is also important in plants and then microbes where it is absence in the oxygen. So this one is alcoholic fermentation. This one is alcoholic fermentation. In this process, you can see here, this is a pyruvate CH3 double bond O. You can see here COOH and then C double bond 1 CH3. So this one is the pyruvate. The structure is pyruvate. This pyruvate you can see here CO2. When it is happen in this reaction, CO2 molecule will released, and the one, this is the enzyme pyruvate decarboxylase. Pyruvate produces CH double bond 1 CH3. This is acetaldehyde. So pyruvate when it is react with pyruvate decarboxylase. This is enzyme involved here. So pyruvate, in the presence of pyruvate decarboxylase, the one is, this is the one. One means this is the one. So pyruvate, when it is react with this one, and then one CO2 molecule will come out, and then it produces acetaldehyde. CH double bond 1 CH3. And then again acetaldehyde react with NADH react with NADH in the presence of 2 means this one, alcohol dehydrogenase. In the presence of alcohol dehydrogenase, it produces this one, ethanol. CH2 CH3 and then NAD plus. So finally pyruvate can be converted into acetaldehyde, and then acetaldehyde react with the NADH and then produces ethanol, and produces, this is ethanol. And then NAD plus. Coming to this one, pyruvate decarboxylase, this is the one. So this one is, you can see here, this is the one irreversible reaction. That is a irreversible reaction. Whereas you can see this one, the second one, alcohol dehydrogenase. This is a reversible reaction. This one is the reversible. You can see here. This is the one, and this one is the one. This is a reversible reaction. So NADH, everything it is used in this process. Whatever NADH will get, that is everything used here. So this is the one how the pyruvate can be converted in 2 ways. Okay. One is alcoholic fermentation, so other one is lactic acid fermentation process. And glycolysis, all microorganisms, all the micro produces ATP, breaking down of molecules and by release energy stored in the glucose and other sugars. So whatever organisms in the organisms produces ATP molecules and breaking down of molecules by releasing energy stored in glucose and other sugar. So this is aerobic respiration. They required actually here the process by which a cell uses oxygen to burn molecules and release energy. Whatever will produce, whatever they use oxygen. Okay, cells uses oxygen to produce, burn molecules and then release energy. So this is reaction C6H12O6 and then C6H12O6 and react with oxygen and then produces C6CO2 and then 6H2O. So glycolysis process, this is how the glycolysis process occur, and then in this process it is important one is there are some of the enzymes, they are very, very important. Hexokinase alpha, this one is hexokinase and glucokinase, either hexokinase or glucokinase, and then phosphofructokinase, the second one is phosphofructokinase, and the third one is pyruvate kinase. This is the hexokinase and then phosphofructokinase and then pyruvate kinase. These are the major sites regulation of glycolysis. These are the major three enzymes, they actually regulate glycolysis pathway. So this one is a glucose converted into glucose 6 phosphate. See here, glucose converted into glucose 6 phosphate. Here you can see here ATP, we are using one ATP converted into ADP. Adenosine triphosphate converted to adenosine diphosphate. Here hexokinase enzyme it is involved here, hexokinase. Here enzyme is involved, hexokinase. Glucose converted into glucose 6 phosphate. Glucose react with the ATP and then it produces ADP and then glucose 6 phosphate in the presence of hexokinase or glucokinase. This is enzyme involved here. Again, glucose 6 phosphate converted into fructose 6 phosphate with the help of phosphohexoisomers. And then coming to here, fructose 6 phosphate converted into fructose 1,6 bis phosphate. Fructose 6 phosphate react with ATP and then produces 1 ADP, and again here fructose 6 phosphate 1,6 bis phosphate with the help of phosphofructokinase 1. This is enzyme is involved. We should remember always enzymes. You need to remember always enzymes. This is very, very important. Again, phosphofructose 1,6 bis phosphate converted into it cleaves to two molecules. So one is glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate and the other one is dihydroxyacetone. With the help of aldose. So you can see here, so fructose 1,6 phosphate, it cleaves two molecules. So one is glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, the other one is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Other one is DHA, dihydroxyacetone phosphate with the help of aldolase. Again you can see here, this one you can see here reversible reaction. Okay, dihydroxyacetone phosphate converted to glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, again glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate converted into dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Here triose phosphate isomerase, the enzyme involved here, triose phosphate isomerase. So this is the enzyme involved here, glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate converted into this one and then dihydroxy. Again this is a reversible reaction. You can see here, this is a reversible reaction. You can see here, as we have seen the previous one, it cleaves two molecules. The other one is, you can see glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate react with NAD plus and then inorganic phosphate, Pi means inorganic phosphate, converted to NADH and H plus, and then glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate converted into 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate. So here the enzyme glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate dehydrogenase. Here the enzyme involved here, glyceraldehyde 3 phosphodehydrogenase. And again 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate react with ADP and converted into ATP and then converted 3 phosphoglycerate with the help of phosphoglycerate kinase. Again 3 phosphoglycerate converted into, you can see, converted into 2 phosphoglycerate with the help of phosphoglycerate mutase. This is enzyme involved here. Again 2 phosphoglycerate converted into phosphoenol pyruvate. phosphoenol pyruvate. This is enolase. This is the enzyme involved here. This is the enzyme involved here, enolase. So phosphoenol pyruvate converted into pyruvate. Here phosphoenol pyruvate react with ADP, adenosine diphosphate, converted into ATP. So here in this process pyruvate kinase plays a major role, that is enzyme involved here. Again phosphoenol pyruvate converted into pyruvate. Coming to this is the one again this is the second time, that is one, and second time it will 2 times it happen. So again glyceraldehyde converted into the same process, you can get the 4 ATP. So total how many ATP you will get? 1 ATP and then 2 ATP and then 3 ATP and then 4 ATP molecule you will get in this process. And as I mentioned the how the glucose converted into pyruvate, here the reaction how it is happening, like in structurally you can see here glucose converted into glucose 6 phosphate. You can see the here glucose react with ATP adenosine triphosphate with the help of hexokinase. You can see glucose react to ATP and then it produces ADP and then glucose converted to glucose 6 phosphate. Why we are talking 6? Because you can see here 6 phosphate on the carbon 6 position. Okay, functional group phosphate attached to the carbon 6 position. So glucose 6 phosphate. Again glucose 6 phosphate convert into fructose 6 phosphate. This is fructose with the help of glucose isomerase. You can see here. Again you can see here and then you can see here this is the difference, CH2OH and then C double bond O. So this is fructose 6 phosphate. Again fructose 6 phosphate react with the ADP and then with the help of phosphofructokinase it produces ADP and then fructose 1,6 bis phosphate. 1,6 bis phosphate. You can see this is the carbon position 1 and this one is the carbon position 6. So that's what fructose 1,6 bis phosphate. Fructose 1,6 bis phosphate. Again it cleaves 2 molecule. So one is dihydroxyacetone. You can see here. Other one is you can see here glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. And again from dihydroxyacetone you can convert it into glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. In this process also you can convert triose phosphate isomerase. It is involved here. Again you can see this process you can convert it into glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate and this is another process. So again you can see glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Again glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate converted into you can see here 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate. 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate. So you can see here glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate react with NAD plus and then one inorganic phosphate and then with the help of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphohydranase. This is the enzyme involved here. So glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate converted into 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate with the help of this one. So here NAD converted into NADH and then H plus. And you can observe here again it is 1 and 3. This is the one position and then this is another carbon 3 position. The phosphate functional group attached on both sides, on carbon 1 and carbon 3. So that's what 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate. Again 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate react with the ADP and then produces one ATP molecule and then 3 phosphoglycerate. Here phosphoglycerate kinase, this is the enzyme involved here. With this enzyme the conversion is happening 3 phosphoglycerate. Again 3 phosphoglycerate converted into 2 phosphoglycerate. Again 3 position and it comes to 2 position. The functional group, phosphate functional group attached to on the second carbon. So here 2 phosphoglycerate with the help of phosphoglycerate mutase. So this 2 phosphoglycerate mutase again when it's happening the reaction 2 phosphoglycerate so converted into phosphoenol pyruvate with the help of enolase. with the help of annihilase, and then water molecule also released here, one water molecule also it is released. So again PEP, phosphonamyl pyruvate, we short name PEP, we call PEP. This phosphonamyl pyruvate react with ADP, this is ADP, and then with the help of phosphokinase, again converted into ATP and then pyruvate. So this is the process, glycolysis process, how glucose converted into pyruvate. So in this process, whatever I explained in this, there actually contain there are 10 steps involved in glycolysis pathway. So you see the enzyme hexokinase, the first one is hexokinase pyruvate. Okay, so glucose in the cells cytoplasm, in the process a phosphate group from ATP is transferred to glucose, producing glucose 6-phosphate. This is the first reaction, how the glucose converted into glucose 6-phosphate, So whatever the enzyme kinase phosphorylates, okay, glucose in the cells cytoplasm. In this process, a phosphate group from ATP, transferred to glucose produces glucose 6-phosphate. ATP, from the ATP, one molecule of glucose transferred and then produces glucose 6-phosphate. Again, phosphoglucoisomerase. The next one is phosphoglucoisomerase. This is the enzyme involved here. So this converted into glucose 6-phosphate, into its isomer fructose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate converted into here fructose 6-phosphate with the help of phosphoglucoisomerase. So isomers have the same molecular formula. When we talk about the isomers actually they have a same molecular formula, but the atoms of each molecule are arranged differently. They arrange molecules differently in the structure, but whereas molecular formula it is the same. Molecular formula it is same when you talk about the isomers. The enzyme, the third step, the enzyme phosphofructokinase uses another ATP molecules to transfer phospho group and then produces phospho-6-pyruvate to form fructose 1,6 diphosphate. So here you can see fructose 6-phosphate converted into fructose 1,6 diphosphate. And the fourth one, the enzyme aldolase. The enzyme aldolase splits fructose 1,6 bisphosphate into two sugars that are isomers of each other. These two sugars are dihydroxyacetone phosphate. The other one is glyceraldehyde phosphate. So another one, the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. This is enzyme involved here. Triose phosphate isomerase interconverts the molecule dihydroxyacetone phosphate. This is the enzyme involved here, and then it converted DHA, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, okay, and glyceraldehyde phosphate. So glyceraldehyde phosphate is removed as soon as it is formed to be used in the next step glycolysis process. So that is a 1,6 fructose 1,6 bisphosphate, okay, phosphatase converted into two. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, the other one is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So here again the enzyme triose phosphate dehydrogenase. The next one is triose phosphate dehydrogenase. Here two functions. So one is the first enzyme transfers hydrogen H from glyceraldehyde phosphate to the oxidizing agent, that is nicotinic adenine dinucleotide NAD+, to the oxidizing agent NADH+ to form NADH, NAD plus converted into NADH, and the next triose phosphate dehydrogenase adds phosphate. It adds phosphate from the cytosol to the oxidized glyceraldehyde phosphate to form 1,3 bis phosphoglyceric acid. It phosphoglyceric acid. This glyceraldehyde converted into to form 1,3 bis phosphoglyceric acid. This occurs for both molecule of glyceraldehyde phosphate, produces in step, we can see the step 5. And then coming to step 7. So in this process, the main enzyme phosphoglycerokinase. Phosphoglycerokinase. This is enzyme. It is, you need to remember this one always. Phosphoglycerokinase transfers phosphate. It transfers phosphate from 1,3 diphosphoglyceric acid. Why this enzyme? How this enzyme involved? This enzyme involved phosphate from 1,3 diphosphoglyceric acid to a molecule of ADP to form ADP. Take one molecule of phosphate group and transfer into ADP. It become a ATP molecule, adenosine triphosphate. Okay, this happens for each molecule of 1,3 diphosphoglyceric acid. So this process yield 2 phosphoglyceric acid molecule and 2 ATP molecule. We can get here 2 phosphoglyceric acid and 2 ATP molecule. Again, the 8th one, phosphoglyceromutase. The next enzyme, phosphoglyceromutase. So this enzyme relocates the phosphate from 3 phosphoglyceric acid. It takes one phosphate from the 3 phosphoglyceric acid from the 3rd carbon to the 2nd carbon to form 2 phosphoglyceric acid. 3 phosphoglyceric acid and it converted into 2 phosphoglyceric acid with the help of phosphoglyceric mutase. With the help of phosphoglyceromutase. This is the enzyme here. 3 phosphoglycerate converted into 2 phosphoglyceric acid. The next one, enolase. This is enolase. This is enzyme involved in this process. The enzyme removes a molecule of water. It will remove the one molecule of water. It removes the one molecule of water from 2 phosphoglycerate. From here, 2 phosphoglycerate, and it forms phosphoenol pyruvic acid, PEP. It produces PEP. Again, PEP converted into phosphopyruvate. PEP converted into pyruvate. The enzyme pyruvate kinase. Here, the enzyme pyruvate kinase transfers phosphate. The phosphate from PEP, phospho, one molecule of phosphate from PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate, okay, from phosphoenol pyruvate and to ADP, and it formed from pyruvic acid and ATP. So this enzyme involved, so PEP converted into pyruvate and then ADP converted into ATP. ADP converted into ADP with the help of pyruvate kinase. This whole process, this is the whole process glycolysis cycle. This whole process we call glycolysis cycle. This happens for each molecule of glucose. If you take each molecule of glucose, this whole process happen. So pyruvic acid and 2 ATP molecule. Pyruvic acid converted to 2 ATP molecules. And if you see the whole process of glycolysis, so how many ATP molecules you will get and then how many NADH molecules you will get? Produces 4 ATPs. We can get 4 ATPs and then 2 NADH. But already from 4 ATPs we already used 2 ATPs. We already used 2 ATP in this process. So net amount 2 ATP and 2 NADH. We will get 2 ATP and then 2 NADH molecules we will get. So this process does not require oxygen and does not yield much energy. And summary of glycolysis process. So a single glucose molecule in glycolysis process produces a total amount of 2 molecules of pyruvic acid and then 2 molecules of ATP and then 2 molecules of NADH and then 2 molecules of H2O. 2O. So this is the summary of glycolysis process. How many we will get ATP molecule, how many we will get NADH, and then how many we will get pyruvate, and then how many we will get the water molecules. So this is a summary of glycolysis. And coming to Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle we usually mention the citric acid cycle or TCA cycle. Citric acid cycle or TCA cycle. So in this process, used oxidize the pyruvate formed during the glycolysis process. Whatever the pyruvate we will get from the glycolysis process, and during the glycolysis breakdown of glucose into carbon dioxide and water molecules used to oxidize the pyruvate formed during the glycolysis process, whatever the breakdown of the glucose molecules into carbon dioxide and then water. So here we will use that one, we will use in this process. So it also oxidizes acetyl-CoA. It also oxidizes acetyl-CoA, which arises from breakdown of carbohydrate, lipid, proteins. Breakdown of carbohydrate, lipid, whatever we will get, carbohydrate, lipid, and then protein. Here acetyl-CoA, it also oxidizes, okay, acetyl-CoA, which arises from breakdown of carbohydrate. When it happens, breakdown of carbohydrates and then lipids and then proteins. So it will come acetyl-CoA. The acetyl-CoA, it will oxidizes here in this process, Krebs cycle, in this process. And it begins when acetyl-CoA enters into the reaction to form citric acid. This cycle was discovered by one of the scientists. His name is Hans Krebs. His name is British chemist Hans Krebs. The first product of Krebs cycle is citric acid. The first product of Krebs cycle is citric acid cycle, citrate. Okay. Therefore, it is also known as a citric acid cycle. It also known as a citric acid cycle. The first product it forms, okay, citric acid. So that's what we mentioned, this one, citric acid cycle. So all the products of digestion are metabolized to a common product, acetyl-CoA, which is then oxidized by the citric acid cycle, So this is the cycle in the citric acid cycle. Whatever the pyruvate will converted into pyruvate converted into acetyl-CoA, pyruvate converted into acetyl-CoA. You can see here coenzyme A, CoA coenzyme A and SH thiol plus NAD plus. So pyruvate react with CoA coenzyme A and SH thiol and plus NAD plus, converted into acetyl-CoA with the help of pyruvate dehydrogenase. Here CO2, it produces CO2 and then NADH plus. Again, this is another process. Pyruvate you can convert into oxaloacetate. Pyruvate can be converted into oxaloacetate with the help of pyruvate carboxylase. This is the process with the help of pyruvate carboxylase. So pyruvate converted into acetyl-CoA with the help of pyruvate dehydrogenase. Again acetyl-CoA, again you can see here acetyl-CoA also it is involved here, and here oxaloacetate. So again acetyl-CoA and then oxaloacetate, these two you can see here, converted into citrate. This is a citrate synthesis. Enzyme is citrate synthesis. So here one water molecule we added here. Here we added water molecule and then CoA coenzyme A and SH, it came out, released. So here oxaloacetate and then acetyl-CoA, it is involved, produces citrate. Enzyme is citrate synthesis. Again citrate converted into cis-octanate with the help of octanase. Here citrate converted into cis-octanate and the one water molecule released here. Again cis-octanate converted into isocitrate, D-isocitrate. So cis octanate converted this one with the help of octanase, and again here water molecule we added here. In this process we added. So cis octanate converted into D-isocitrate. Again D-isocitrate converted into alpha ketoglutarate with the help of enzyme isocitrate dehydrogenase. Here NAD converted into NADH and H plus, and again carbon dioxide out, again released one carbon dioxide, CO2. And coming to alpha ketoglutarate react with NAD plus and then CoA and coenzyme A and SH. Alpha ketoglutarate react with NAD plus and CoA SH, converted into succinyl CoA with the help of alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. And here NAD plus is here converted to NADH and H plus and CO2. Alpha ketoglutarate to succinyl CoA with the help of alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. And again here involved NAD plus and coenzyme A and SH thiol. So again succinyl CoA converted into succinate. With the help of succinyl coenzyme A synthesis. Here GDP, again here in this process GTP converted into coenzyme A and SH thiol and GTP, and then GTP. Again succinate, this is succinate converted into again fumarate. Succinate converted into fumarate. Here in this process succinate dehydrogenase, this is the enzyme involved here. Succinate converted into fumarate, that fumarate with the help of succinate dehydrogenase, Again succinate dehydrogenase, fumarate here converted into malate. In this process fumarate converted into malate with the help of fumarase, This is enzyme involved in this process. And coming to malate converted into oxaloacetate with the help of malate dehydrogenase, and this in this process here NAD plus converted into NADH and then H plus. So this is, and again malate converted into oxaloacetate with the help of malate dehydrogenase, and again it produces citrate. So this is the cycle, the whole cycle, how that pyruvate converted into coenzyme A, acetyl CoA, and then that acetyl CoA, from that acetyl how the citric acid synthesized. So this is the process, citric acid cycle. And then this is the oxidation of pyruvate to acetyl CoA is reversible route from glycolysis to the citric acid cycle. And you can see here pyruvate react with HS and coenzyme A and then converted into acetyl CoA. Here you can see how the converted into acetyl CoA. In this process pyruvate dehydrogenase, this is enzyme involved here. Again you can see NAD plus converted into NADH, and then one CO2 molecule, oxidized molecule. You can here release the one molecule of carbon dioxide. So in this process pyruvate react with coenzyme A and then HS, and then produces, you can see here, acetyl CoA with the help of pyruvate dehydrogenase, and in this process you can see release CO2 and NAD plus converted into NADH. Again the acetyl CoA, this is the acetyl CoA. This acetyl CoA, and it produces two molecules, one is acetyl CoA. In this process it converted into citrate, again oxaloacetate, that is another pathway, oxaloacetate converted into citrate. So this is how this oxidation of the pyruvate oxidized, and then it produces acetyl CoA. So this is the irreversible route from glycolysis to produce citric acid cycle. And how this structurally, how this cycle, you can see here, because the previously explained everything. So how that pyruvate converted into acetyl CoA, again acetyl CoA converted into how this citric acid cycle, and this is another pathway, the pyruvate converted into oxaloacetate, and then oxaloacetate converts citrate, and then citrate convert to isocitrate. In my previous slide, you can see all the enzymes involved, each one-to-one reaction, what are the enzymes involved in this process. So this is how structurally this cycle happen. Pyruvate and then acetyl-CoA, acetyl convert citrate, and then citrate converted into oxaloacetate, and then this is the cycle you can see in the coming previous slide, and compare this one. In this process, these are the steps involved, Krebs cycle. So there are 9 steps involved here. So one is condensation process, and then isomerization, and then dehydrogenation process, and then decarboxylation, and then oxidative decarboxylation, and then substrate level ATP and then GTP synthesis, and again dehydrogenation process, oxidation of succinate, and then hydration process, and then dehydrogenation of malate. So these are the steps involved in Krebs cycle, and the first one is condensation process. In this process, the first one, acetyl-CoA combines with oxaloacetate. Okay, acetyl-CoA, the first one, condensation process. In this process, you can see in this process, Krebs cycle, so acetyl-CoA combines with oxaloacetate. Acetyl-CoA combines with oxaloacetate. In this presence of the enzyme, it is involved citrate synthesis, and CoA is released out. The product of condensation process, you will get the TCA, citrate, which is a tricarboxylic 6 carbon compound. That is a tricarboxyl 6 compound, that is citrate. You can produce a citrate. But here involved acetyl-CoA and then oxaloacetate. These are combined and then produces citrate, and then And then coming to isomerization. So in this process, citrate formed in first step is converted into isocitrate. This is isomer, that is isocitrate. Citrate converted into isocitrate. Okay, in 2 steps reaction, that presence of iron containing, these are the one, it is involved here, octanoase, and then dehydration, and then rehydration process. And the coming to dehydrogenation. This is a dehydrogenation process. In this process, isocitrate undergoes dehydrogenation process. In this process, in the presence of enzyme, that is isocitrate dehydrogenase. This is a isocitrate dehydrogenase. With the help of this enzyme, so here Mn2 plus ion is required for functioning of enzyme. It is required, Mn2 plus, it is required. So functioning of this enzyme, hydrogen given out by isocitrate is picked up by NAD plus, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, NAD plus, to form NADH2. NAD plus converted into NADH2. So after losing hydrogen, isocitrate changed into oxalosuccinate. That is it contains 6 carbon. So again decarboxylation. In this process, oxalosuccinate in step 4 undergoes decarboxylation. In this process, decarboxylation, in this presence of oxalosuccinate, decarboxylase, okay, enzyme oxalosuccinate is changed into alpha ketoglutarate. So oxalosuccinate in step 4 undergoes decarboxylation in the presence of oxalosuccinate and decarboxylase enzyme. Okay, oxalosuccinate is changed into alpha ketoglutarate. The next 5th step, oxidative decarboxylation. In this process, oxidative decarboxylation, in this step, 5 carbon compound, that is alpha ketoglutarate. You can see 5th one, alpha ketoglutarate undergoes simulation, dehydrogenation, and carboxylation. So in the presence of enzyme alpha ketoglutarate, dehydrogenase, okay, complex. This enzyme complex containing thiamine, TPP, and then lipoic acid, Mg2 plus ions, and then transaminase and NAD plus and CoA are required. Okay, the products formed are 4 carbon compound, that whatever the compound would form 4 carbon compound, that is succinyl CoA. succinyl CoA and produces NADH2 and then carbon dioxide. And again substrate level ATP and GTP synthesis. Sixth one, in the presence of enzyme succinyl thiokinase, in the presence of in this step, in this process, the enzyme succinyl thiokinase, this is involved here. So succinyl CoA is hydrolyzed and then CoA succinate are formed, it formed CoA and then succinate are formed. The energy liberated during the process is used synthesis of ATP in plants and GTP. What is GTP means? Guanosine triphosphate. GTP means guanosine triphosphate or ITP, inosine triphosphate in animals. CoA is released out. CoA is released out. And the seventh one, dehydrogenation. Seventh one, dehydrogenation. So in this process, 4 carbon compound succinate. The 4 carbon compound in this process succinate, 4 carbon compound in succinate is oxidized to another 4 carbon compound fumarate with the help of enzyme succinate dehydrogenase, with the help of enzyme succinate dehydrogenase and hydrogen acceptor FAD flavin adenine dinucleotide, and the enzyme is attached to inner mitochondrial membrane. The enzyme is involved attached to the inner mitochondrial membrane. It contains non-heme-iron FES protein. This enables the enzyme to get directly linked to electron transport chain. And coming to hydration, in this process fumarate react with a molecule of water in the presence of enzyme fumarase, so forming another 4 carbon dicarboxylic acid called malate. So in this fumarate react with the molecule of water and then with the help of fumarase, then it produces malate. The last one, hydrogenation. The last one is hydrogenation. In this process, with the help of enzyme malate dehydrogenase, malate formed into step 8 is oxidized and oxaloacetate NAD plus reduced to NADH2. So finally, oxaloacetate formed in this reaction becomes available to combine with acetyl CoA to start new cycle. This is a cycle. You can do another process. So this is the overall reaction. The pyruvic acid react with NAD plus and then FAD and then water molecule and ADP and then inorganic phosphate, then produces 2 CO2. It produces 2 molecules of carbon dioxide and 3 molecules NADH2 and then FADH2 and then ATP. So NADH2 and FADH2 are linked to the electron transport chain. It is linked to the electron transport system. So formation of ATP by oxidative phosphorylation. So the conversion of pyruvate in this process, acetyl CoA for entry into the Krebs cycle. Pyruvate enter into the Krebs cycle. So 2 NADH are generated and 2 CO2 are released. 2 NADH and 2 carbon dioxide molecule generated. The Krebs cycle, when this one is pyruvate enter into the acetyl CoA, when it is the pyruvate to convert the acetyl CoA, so it produces 2 NADH2 are generated and then 2 carbon dioxide are generated. But whereas Krebs cycle 6 NADH are generated and 2 FADH2 are generated, 2 FADH and 6 NADH and 2 ATP are generated molecule and then 4 CO2 carbon dioxide molecules are released. Therefore, each glucose molecule, and therefore we see each glucose molecule that enter into the Krebs cycle, and then including the preparatory conversion to acetyl CoA, the net product of products, whatever the products you will get, glucose molecule that enter into the Krebs cycle. One molecule of glucose when enter into the Krebs cycle produces 8 NADH molecule and 2 FADH2 and 2 ATP molecule and 6 carbon dioxide. And steps, these are some of the steps involved in TCA cycle, and the cycle can be divided into 3 stages according to the oxaloacetate. OA means oxaloacetate, the attachment of acetyl-CoA to oxaloacetate carrier, this is one reaction, and the other one is breaking of oxaloacetate carriers 2 to 5, that is reaction 2 to reaction 5, that is stage 2, and the stage 3 regeneration of the carrier, this is the regeneration of the carrier, that is 6 to 8. These are the steps involved in TCA cycle. And metabolic pathways. So anabolic pathways, what is, there are different types, anabolic and then catabolic and then amphibolic pathways. So what is anabolic pathway? In this process involved in synthesis of compounds, you can synthesize in this process compounds, anabolic pathways, synthesis of compounds. In this process, anabolic pathway are those involved in the synthesis of compounds. We are going to synthesize compounds. So anabolic pathways are endergonic, in this endergonic, and catabolic pathways, this is exergonic, involve breaking of large molecule. We are break the large molecule. Catabolic pathways are involved in the breaking of larger molecules, commonly in oxidative reaction, that is oxidative reactions producing equivalents and mainly via the respiratory chain, mainly to the respiratory chain ATP. And amphibolic pathways occurs the crossroads of metabolism, acting as the links between the anabolic and catabolic pathways. It amphibolic pathways, this one is occurs at the crossroads of acting as a links between anabolic and then catabolic pathways. Example, citric acid cycle. And functions of TCA cycle. So what are the functions of TCA cycle? Amphibolic function, TCA cycle both anabolic and catabolic functions. So catabolic role, what is the catabolic role? It's mainly catabolic role, it is the final common pathway for oxidation of carbohydrates, lipids, proteins with energy product, whatever energy product. And coming to anabolic roles, source of the intermediate used in biosynthesis pathway. What are the sources we will get used in biosynthesis pathway? One is oxaloacetic acid used in gluconeogenesis process, and then alpha ketoglutarate used in synthesis of some of the non-essential amino acids, and then succinyl-CoA is used in hemosynthesis. And yeah, this is a summary. You can see here the metabolism is regulated by enzymatic activity. An enzyme regulates a metabolic pathway is termed a rate limiting enzyme. It depends on whatever you synthesize, whatever involved, these are the enzymes, it is rate limiting enzymes. And then the rate limiting enzymes for glycolysis is phosphofructokinase, while the rate limiting enzymes for Krebs cycle and electron transport chain are isocitrate, dehydrogenase and cytochrome oxidase, some of this one. And then in generally, so cellular level, if you see the cellular level of ATP and ADP and then inorganic phosphate regulates the rate of metabolic enzymes pathways involved in the production of ATP, energy molecules. So high levels of ATP inhibit further ATP production, while low levels of ATP and high levels of ADP and then inorganic phosphate stimulate ATP production. So evidence also exists that the calcium may stimulate aerobic energy metabolism. So overall, you see the how this glucose converted into pyruvate, and again the pyruvate is oxidized in the Krebs cycle, and then it converted into citrate. This is a reverse. You can see the cycle process. These are some of the questions you see. You need to come up with how this glycolysis process happened and what are the enzymes involved in this process. Similarly, Krebs cycle, what are the enzymes involved here? Structure is very, very important. You need to draw the structures and practice that one. And then these are some of the reference books. You go to library and read books more, and you can get more knowledge how these pathways involved and happen in the metabolism. Thank you all.